Sigma males don't set out to intimidate. They don't raise their voice or demand attention. They don't use loud tactics or show off. But somehow, when they enter a room, people sense something different, something unsettling. And while Sigma males often don't notice, their presence can trigger fear, respect, or confusion in others. This video dives into 6 hidden reasons why Sigma males scare people without realizing it. Not out of malice, but because of how they carry themselves. Their calm, their distance, their focus. It affects people on a level that often goes unnoticed. And that effect is felt the moment they enter a space. Sigma males are independent thinkers. They walk their own path. They avoid drama. They set clear boundaries. They stay emotionally steady. And they quietly steer outcomes. All this adds up to a presence that feels powerful and unpredictable. Some people feel captivated by that. Others feel challenged. Some feel lost. And most don't even understand why. Because Sigma males don't broadcast their intentions. They just are. But that just being shifts things in ways that can scare the unprepared. In this video, we'll explain each reason clearly without labels or jargon. We'll focus on how these traits impact others and why Sigma males don't always see it. Because awareness is the first step toward balance. By the end, you'll see how these traits appear in everyday moments, at work, in social settings, in relationships. And you'll understand why the Sigma male's normal is someone else's wake-up call. Let's begin with the first reason. Reason number 1, silent confidence. Confidence is powerful. But loud confidence can feel like a power play. Bragging, boasting, flexing. That sets off alarms. It demands evaluation. But silent confidence is different. Sigma males carry that quiet strength without showing off. And that silence often scares people more than loud claims. Here's why. Silent confidence doesn't need external approval. Sigma males don't brag because they already know their value. They don't ask for praise because they don't need it. They stand their ground calmly. That creates a tension others can sense. They see someone who knows who he is, and they're not sure they do. That tension feels threatening. People wonder, does he see my weaknesses? Does he know I'm pretending? They tense up because they aren't used to someone being at peace with themselves. Instead, they're used to others seeking validation. But that silence sends a question. Who are you when no one is watching? Silent confidence also flips social scripts. Most people expect insecurity. They expect apologies, permission-seeking, or reassurance. But the Sigma male skips all that. He doesn't ask to fit in. He doesn't try. He just shows up. And that breaks the usual rhythm, so people notice. They try harder to figure him out. That makes them reactive, not relaxed. This kind of strength can feel cold. People mistake it for arrogance. Yet it's not that he thinks he's better, it's that he doesn't need anyone else's approval. That difference lights up insecurities, especially in competitive spaces like job interviews or mixed groups. When a Sigma male is calm and sure, people don't just see confidence. They feel something else, a question about their own worth. That discomfort can look like fear or respect. But either way, it's enough to rush people into action, to show up stronger, louder, or retreat entirely. So silent confidence isn't just calm, it's powerful. It doesn't demand attention, but people can't ignore it. That quiet power is often enough to scare someone without intending to. Reason number 2, emotional stillness. Some people show what they feel. Their face, their voice, their gestures tell a story. But Sigma males often don't. Their emotional state stays hidden. And that stillness makes others uneasy because there's no signal to read. Emotional stillness means no meltdown, no excitement, no panic, no warning. Sigma males speak softly or not at all. And that hidden emotional state removes the usual tools people use to connect or negotiate. No tone shifts, no quick reactions, no emotional clues. When you can't read someone's feelings, you feel unsure of how to act. That uncertainty can turn into anxiety. Is he angry? Is he judging me? What does he want? Most people need emotional cues to stay grounded. Without them, they feel threatened. This is different from manipulation or game playing. Sigma males often just stay steady. They don't want drama. They don't mean to hurt anyone. But the result is the same. Their output doesn't match social expectations. Other people expect energy. They expect reaction. They expect a range of signals. When that's not there, people feel off balance. That stillness also makes the Sigma male unpredictable. No reaction doesn't mean approval or disapproval. People don't know what his calm means. They don't know if they're safe or crossing a line. That creates tension. Sometimes emotional stillness draws people in. They want to break the shell. But other times it pushes people away. They decide it's not worth trying. And that choice often comes faster than the Sigma male expects it. In short, emotional stillness isn't just quiet. It can sound like a warning. It can slow conversations. It can shift power without words. That's why it scares people. Because emotional silence isn't peace. It's a mask, and everyone wants to know what's behind it. Reason number 3. Quick mental assessment. Sigma males often appear to know people instantly. They don't need small talk to figure things out. They read tone, posture, word choice, even tiny facial movements to understand others. This ability can feel uncanny. And when someone realizes the Sigma male has already judged them in seconds, it can spark fear. This isn't magic. It's observation honed by experience, often because reading people quickly became essential in youth. The Sigma male may have grown up where trust was shaky, so he learned early to scan for danger. Every detail mattered. Over time, he built a habit of metering out judgment early and on instinct. The result today is an intense skill. He enters a room and understands who's trustworthy, who's stressed, who's hiding something. He doesn't speak. He just listens and watches. Then he acts based on what he learned in silence. To others, this rapid assessment is unsettling. No one likes feeling judged, even subconsciously, before they've had a chance to explain or show who they are. That sensation, that hushed evaluation, can cause people to feel exposed, defensive, or anxious, even if they haven't done anything wrong. This speed also affects social groups. The Sigma male doesn't get caught up in drama or gossip. He sees the patterns early and withdraws. That removes him from expected roles: leader, follower, confidant. He's unpredictable by design. Others don't know how to place him, and that mystery creates discomfort. It also makes interactions transactional. He engages when he's comfortable. He steps back when he's not. Others feel this as emotional whiplash. Last week they were chatting freely with him. This week he disappears. And they don't know why, because he knows already. That kind of quick judgment makes others feel unsafe. If you can assess me at a glance, then you've judged me and maybe decided not to include me. That creates distance. That breeds fear. Sigma males don't set out to frighten. They don't broadcast their conclusions. But their quick reads affect others. It feels like their emotional data is being collected silently, and that sensation scares people more than any open criticism. Reason number 4, boundary clarity. Sigma males are known for being clear about what they will and will not tolerate. They don't apologize for boundaries. They don't negotiate them. And most importantly, they don't ask permission. That kind of unapologetic boundary clarity scares people who are used to vague rules or need for social approval. It's not uncommon for people to ask, "Is this okay?" or "Am I crossing a line?" They look for cues, hesitation, tone of voice, facial expression. But with Sigma males, those cues are gone. He says what he means and expects it to be taken seriously. Period. That radical clarity can feel like literal stakes. Friendships change. Conversations end. Plans shift. And no matter how calmly he states his limits, the result is a sudden shift in expectations. For many, that induces anxiety. Am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to ask this? Will this question get me shut out? Instead of uncertainty leading to a conversation, it leads to avoidance. And avoidance looks like fear. This isn't about aggression. It's about directness. A Sigma male isn't pushing. He's just honest about where he stands. He won't cater to emotional nuance. He simply acts and expects others to adjust or step back. That unpredictability triggers concern. People worry that trying to adapt will come with failure. They feel they're being tested. And they can't prepare because they don't know what he'll accept or reject. So they back away, just to be safe. This boundary clarity can be positive. It can protect his peace. But it also pushes people out, often permanently. Those who don't respect his limits disappear. And those who respect them feel uneasy because the limits are so firm they can't explore closeness. That kind of absolute clarity, a definitive line in the sand, feels like a threat. Not to safety, but to fluid connection. It scares because it shuts down possibility without conversation, without apology. And that silence scares people more than confrontation could. Reason number 5, independent action. Sigma males operate solo and not as a choice for show. They act fast. They decide alone. They move forward without asking. That self-reliant approach often disrupts expected dynamics in teams, friendships, relationships. And that disruption scares people, even if no harm was meant. Independence in action looks like decisiveness, but it also looks unpredictable. Projects are launched without discussion. Social gatherings are cancelled without warning. Group efforts continue without seeking contribution. People rely on signals. We'll discuss it. Let's vote. Does everyone agree? Sigma males go straight to done. That can feel like betrayal, or worse, erasure. This style clashes with social expectation. We depend on inclusion, transparency, small rituals, even minor discussions. Removing them wakes people up to feel exclusion. Without those cues, it feels like power was wielded without permission. This also triggers personal insecurity. If he decides the direction, what's my role? If he's not asking, am I needed? That uncertainty breeds fear, not of him, but of being irrelevant. He may mean to be efficient. He may be trying to avoid bottlenecks. But the result is perceived as cold control. People wonder if decisions will be made without them, if their voice matters, or if they can trust what's coming next. And there's no signaling. No heads up. No explanation. That leaves room for doubt, for second-guessing, and for resentment. That's why independent action, especially in social or relational contexts, can scare people. It hits insecurity in a way long enough to disengage, not with anger, but with quiet withdrawal. Sigma males don't mean to scare. They just are self-directed. But in doing so, they leave others feeling lost. And that gap feels unsafe. Reason number 6, discrete influence. Sigma males rarely speak to control. They don't give commands. They don't make public moves. But somehow, people notice that when a Sigma male enters a space, things start to shift, quietly. That's because Sigma males influence from the background. They watch first. They speak when needed. They move subtly. But everything they do is intentional. And while no one sees the power move happen, the results speak for themselves. People around them change how they talk. They lower their voice. They rethink opinions. They avoid arguments they might have started with others. Even without meaning to, they adapt when the Sigma male is present. This effect is powerful, but it's not obvious. It feels like gravity. You don't see it, you just feel pulled. And that's exactly what makes it scary. Influence that is direct can be handled. You know who's in charge. You can push back. But when influence is discreet, when it flows under the radar, it becomes unpredictable. People feel watched but don't know why. They sense judgment but hear no words. That triggers confusion. Did I say something wrong? Did he disapprove? Why did the vibe change when he entered? They sense that something shifted, and they don't know how to respond. This creates an imbalance. Even those in leadership positions feel it. The Sigma male doesn't need the title. But somehow people still follow his tempo. They adjust to his pace, his tone, his cues. Not because he asked, but because he made them feel like it was the right move. This low-key control can be unsettling. It doesn't feel earned. It feels automatic. And when someone has influence they don't flaunt, it's hard to read their intention. That unknown creates fear. People ask themselves, what else can he see? What else can he shape? They don't see a strategy, but they sense a result. That silent force behind the outcome makes them nervous. Sigma males don't plan to dominate, but their presence leads others. And when leadership shows up without asking, people either respect it or fear it. That's why discrete influence is the most dangerous kind of power. Because no one knows how to stop it. And that unknown is what truly scares people. Sigma males don't scare people with threats. They don't shout. They don't force. But they change the air in the room without trying. It's not the volume of their voice, it's the weight of their presence. Silent confidence. Emotional stillness. Rapid mental assessments. Clear boundaries. Independent moves. Quiet influence. These 6 traits aren't loud, but they all say the same thing. I'm not here to please you. And that message, whether spoken or not, shakes people. Because most of the world runs on approval, on fitting in, on reading social rules. When someone shows up who doesn't play that game, everyone feels it. That's what makes the Sigma male's presence so powerful and so unsettling. They don't demand space. They just take it. They don't lead with force. They lead with control over themselves. And in a world full of noise, their quiet becomes the loudest thing in the room. So which reason did you feel the most? Which one reminded you of someone or yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's start the conversation. If this video hit home, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to understand this energy a little better. Until next time, stand firm, speak less, and remember, silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning.